There's a moment coming. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's right now. A moment where you'll have to choose between the life you're living and the life that's waiting for you. Most people miss it. They blink. They hesitate. And the moment passes them by forever. But not you. Not today. Because today you're going to understand something that changes everything. The person you're capable of becoming isn't waiting for perfect conditions. They're not waiting for more time, more money, or more certainty. That person is waiting for one thing only: your decision. See, we've been taught that transformation is complicated, that becoming who we're meant to be requires some elaborate plan, some perfect strategy. But that's a lie that keeps you stuck. The truth is brutally simple. Every extraordinary life began with an ordinary person who refused to stay ordinary. Think about that. Every single one. And here's what nobody tells you about courage. It's not something you find. It's something you build, rep by rep, decision by decision. It's a muscle that grows stronger every time you do the thing that scares you. Every time you speak up when it's easier to stay silent. Every time you start when it's safer to wait. I need you to get honest with yourself right now. How many versions of your future have you killed? How many ideas have you buried? How many times have you said someday when you meant never? That stops today. Because here's what I know about fear. It's a liar. It tells you that you're not ready, that you need one more credential, one more year, one more sign from the universe. But readiness is a myth. Nobody who did anything worth remembering felt ready. They felt terrified. And they moved anyway. You want to know the difference between people who make it and people who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's the willingness to be uncomfortable, to live in the gap between who you are and who you're becoming. That gap, that's where all growth happens. That's where you forge yourself into something new. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Translation? Stop waiting for your circumstances to change. You are the circumstance that needs to change. Let me tell you about regret. Real regret isn't about the things you tried that didn't work. It's about the dreams you never chased, the conversations you never had, the person you never became because you listened to fear instead of your heart. That's the regret that haunts you at 2 a.m. That's the regret you carry to your grave. So I'm asking you, what's worth that kind of regret? Is staying comfortable worth it? Is avoiding judgment worth it? Is playing it safe worth dying with your music still inside you? The answer is no. It never has been. It never will be. Here's what you need to understand about failure. It's data. That's all it is. Every person you admire has failed more times than you've even tried. The difference is they didn't attach their identity to the outcome. They failed at something. They didn't become a failure. There's a massive difference. Thomas Edison didn't fail 10,000 times to create the light bulb. He discovered 10,000 ways that didn't work. Can you adopt that perspective? Can you see every setback as information rather than indictment? Because once you do, you become unstoppable. Fear loses its grip. Judgment loses its sting. You become someone who takes massive action because you understand that the only real failure is giving up on yourself. Now let's talk about urgency. Not panic, not anxiety, urgency. The deep understanding that your time here is finite, that this life you're living right now, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is it, the main event, the only shot you get. So why are you living like there's a backup plan? Why are you saving your best ideas for later? Why are you waiting for permission from people who are too afraid to chase their own dreams? Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every morning you wake up and choose comfort over courage. You're choosing to stay exactly where you are. And comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. It costs you your purpose. It costs you your life. I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're 85 years old, sitting in a chair, looking back at your life. The you sitting in that chair is going to ask the you right now a question. Did you go for it? Did you bet on yourself? Or did you play it safe and live a life of quiet desperation? What's your answer going to be? Because that future you is counting on the present you to have the guts to try, to fail, to get back up, to keep going when everyone says quit. That's the agreement you make with yourself when you decide to actually live. Listen, the world doesn't need another person playing small. The world needs you at full volume, unfiltered, unapologetic, bringing everything you've got, your unique perspective, your weird ideas, your unreasonable dreams. Brené Brown said it best. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. It takes guts to be seen, to put your work out there. to risk being judged, criticized, rejected. But here's the secret. The people who judge you aren't in the arena. They're spectators. And spectators don't get to write your story. You know what the arena is? It's that place where you're actually doing it, where your face is covered in dust and sweat, where you're giving everything you've got to something that matters. That's where life happens. Not in the stands, not in the comments section. In the arena, and yes, you might fall. You might stumble. You might get knocked flat on your back. But here's what happens next. You get up. And getting up after falling is how you discover who you really are. That's how you build unshakable confidence. Not from success, from surviving failure and choosing to continue anyway. Now here's where it gets interesting. The moment you commit, really commit, everything changes. Doors you didn't know existed start opening. People appear out of nowhere to help you. Opportunities find you. It's like the universe was waiting for you to go first. To show that you're serious, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe understood this. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Did you hear that? Boldness has magic in it. But you have to move first. You have to commit first. You can't wait for conditions to be perfect. Perfect conditions don't exist. You create them through action. So let's talk about momentum. Momentum is the closest thing we have to magic in real life. Once you get it going, once you start taking consistent action toward your goal, things compound. Small wins lead to bigger wins. Little improvements stack on each other. Before you know it, you're not the same person who started this journey. But momentum requires one thing. You have to start. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel ready. Now, today, this moment. Even if you don't know the full path, even if you only see the next step, take it. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Here's what I need you to hear. Your excuses are valid. I'm not saying they're not. Maybe you don't have enough money. Maybe you don't have enough time. Maybe you don't have the support system. All of that might be true, but it's also irrelevant. Because people with fewer resources, less time, and more obstacles than you have done incredible things. Not because they were special, because they refused to let circumstances define what was possible. You've got to separate facts from stories. Fact, you have challenges. Story, challenges mean you can't succeed. That story is optional. You can choose a different one. People who change their lives don't have fewer obstacles. They just refuse to be stopped by them. Let me ask you something. What would you attempt if you knew you couldn't fail? Really think about that, because whatever just came to mind, that's your calling. That's what you're here to do. And the only thing stopping you is the belief that failure is final. But failure isn't final. Quitting is. Failure is just feedback. It's just the universe showing you a different path. Every successful person you know has a graveyard of failures behind them. They just kept going. They understood something crucial. You don't fail until you stop trying. Here's your assignment. When you finish watching this, you're going to do one thing that scares you. Just one. Maybe it's sending that email. Maybe it's having that conversation. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off for years. Whatever it is, do it within the next 24 hours. Not because it's comfortable, because it's necessary. Because every time you do something brave, you prove to yourself that you can. You build evidence that you're not who you used to be. You become someone who does hard things. And once you become that person, your entire life trajectory changes. Look, I can't promise you success. I can't guarantee that everything will work out exactly as you plan. But I can promise you this. A life lived courageously is a life without regret. A life where you bet on yourself, where you chased your dreams, where you refuse to settle. That's a life worth living. Even if you fall short, even if you don't reach every goal, because at least you tried, at least you lived. Nelson Mandela said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. You don't need to stop being afraid. You need to act despite being afraid. That's the secret. That's the whole game." So here we are. Back to that moment I told you about at the beginning, the moment of decision. It's right now. This is it. You can close this video, go back to your life, and nothing changes. Or you can decide, really decide, that you're done playing small. That you're done waiting. That you're done living a life that doesn't light you up. The choice is yours. It always has been. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you permission. You have to give it to yourself. You have to choose yourself. You have to decide that you're worth fighting for. And here's what I know about you, even though we've never met. You have something inside you that the world needs. A gift, a perspective, a purpose. And you owe it to yourself and to everyone whose life you're meant to touch to bring it forth, to let it out, to share it unapologetically. Your life isn't just happening to you. You're creating it every single day, with every decision, every action, every thought. You're either building the life you want or accepting the life you've got. There's no neutral, there's no standing still. You're either growing or dying, expanding or contracting, moving toward your dreams or away from them. So I'll leave you with this final thought. 20 years from now, what will you wish you had done today? What will you wish you had started? Who will you wish you had become? The answer to that question is your truth. That's your North Star. That's what you're here to do. Don't let fear write your story. Don't let comfort steal your dreams. Don't let other people's opinions become your prison. You're here for something bigger, something more. And deep down, you know it. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Your life is waiting. Your future is calling. Your potential is knocking. And all that's required is one thing: the courage to answer, to step up, to begin, to become. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by.